This is my new bike. It's a Dawes Easy Street. It's either that or it's a Dawes on-off, but I think it's a Dawes Easy Street. I bought it because I want to build my own gravel bike. There's not really any gravel trails around here, but I just like the idea of a bike that I can just jump on and ride down to the shops, and I've got big thick tyres to make it comfortable, and it's got jump handlebars so I can go fast in it. And the reason why I bought this bike is because it's got 29-inch wheels or 700c wheels. It's got cantilever brakes and it's got tyre clearance for thicker wheels, and it's got a steel frame. Some of the less impressive features include the bent handlebars, the old school speedometer, and the 32C Hutchinson front wheel and the reversible 35C Schwalbe more grippy rear wheel. I'm assuming they didn't mismatch the tyres for a reason. I think it's probably whatever was available at the time. But we're going to put some fat ass tyres on it. It's also got 6. It's also got 18 gears, which we're going to reduce down to 9. So I actually bought this bike about 2 months ago off Facebook Marketplace for about £40. No, it was exactly £40. And it's just been sat in my shed whilst I've been building up parts, because I wanted to build it all in one go, because you always see those videos of people building up bikes all in one go and it looks amazing. Whoever was the last person to assemble this bike really was a big fan of grease, as there's grease absolutely everywhere. See that is absolutely minging, and we're going to see some more grease later on in the video. I think the Dawes Easy Street is from the 1992 range of bikes from Dawes, and it actually came with some pretty cool components. It came with a full Shimano Altus group set, which I intended to keep in one piece, but when I came to take the cranks off, that's why you didn't see me take the cranks off, it's because it went terribly. I've got all the right tools to do it, but they would not come off, and I ended up shearing the threads inside the aluminium crank arm. This is the point when my friend Harvey came to help, and I showered him in a bit of grease from the seat post once I took it out.
I'd grease it in there.
Lovely.
Did you film that bit?
Yeah.
Nice. YouTube. What about any threads that you got?
I've wanted to do a build like this for years, really. I've really liked the idea of getting an old bike and putting new components on it and sort of giving it a new lease of life. So the way I got the crank off in the end was to unscrew this bottom bracket until it just pulled off from the other side, which really isn't advised, and I potentially could have caused damage to the bottom bracket, but I've put it back on anyway. If it needs replaced, it's not the end of the world. They're not that expensive, but so far so good. It seems to be working fine. I'm trying to do this bike build on the cheap, so I'm trying to use as many old parts as I can and getting second-hand parts. These cranks came off my old mountain bike, actually, my current mountain bike. They are FSA Alpha Drive. That is either a 32 or 34 tooth chainring, which isn't really ideal for a cyclocross bike, especially because this is going to be a 1x9 setup. So I'm probably going to have to get a bigger chainring at some point, but for the moment it's going to do the job. Right, here is my first new old part. It's an Easton EA50 90mm stem, and actually it's on a brand new quill stem to threadless stem adapter. The stem was a whopping £3.20, and I'm putting some GT drop tune RS bars on those, which I think you can only get on a GT grade. I wasn't too fussy about the bars as long as they were wide and flared. And these are Shimano Sora shifters, and the front shifters are 3-speed and the rear shifters are 9-speed, which is crucial. Lovely. Nice. What you saw there was the unboxing of a Shimano Alivio 9-speed rear derailleur. Now Alivio are for mountain bikes, so they're meant to work with conventional shifters, and obviously we're using road bike Sora shifters. But apparently Shimano mountain bike and road bike components are compatible up until 9-speed, which is ideal because I can only afford 9-speed. The cassette is a 12x36 tooth cassette. It's the widest 9-speed Shimano cassette I could find at the time.
Yeah, but this is Shimano. Shimano Silent Knob.
I was so excited about these. These are the Panaracer Gravel King SK tyres with the tan wheels. I think they are absolutely lush. I forgot to mention that these wheels cost me £35 off Facebook Marketplace, and I had to get them because the old wheels had a freewheel hub instead of a cassette hub, and I think you can only go to 7 or 8 speed with a freewheel hub. My next issue was that the original brake hanger didn't work anymore because now I have drop handlebars, so I got this one that goes through the bolt hole for where you'd usually put mudguards. But then my link wire was too long and you can't cut them down, so I just ended up using a traditional sort of cantilever brake bridge or a yoke or whatever it's called. The reason why I built this bike is because I wanted a really versatile bike that I could sort of ride in the rain, because none of my bikes have mudguards and I don't want to put mudguards on them, and I want a bike just so I could cycle down to the shops or just around town, just a really casual bike. Admittedly, a hybrid bike probably is the most versatile bike going, with flat handlebars, but I want the option of being able to go fast if I want to. If I want to go for a fast ride, maybe I've been to the shops for too long and I need to get back in time for work, so I can get into that aero position with my drop bars and zoom off. I'm tempted to put a basket on the front as well, but not too sure on that one yet. It has to have flat pedals as well, because the shoes that you have to wear for those clip-in pedals are just horrible for doing anything other than cycling. So I actually planned to end the video after that last clip, mainly because I had to go for a bike ride. Like, I was really up against it. I thought I had loads of time. Turns out I didn't. Just bodged it together and took it for a ride. It wasn't quite ready. Now I've got the new brake part to go on here, so I can make it the same with the back brake. And also had a problem with the rear axle. So these are second-hand rims. Originally when I put it in the wheel, it was off to one side, and I thought the frame was bent. I thought the spokes were put in wrong, but it turns out that someone took the axle apart and put it back in the wrong way. So I put the axle back in the right way, but I also discovered that they were missing a ball bearing, missing a ball bearing, there we go. So I packed it with grease and just went with it anyway, because I was in a rush. That didn't really work, so I've got new ball bearings, and we're going to rebuild it. I should say that I packed it full of grease because I thought that the axle would hold a little bit more grease than it did. Basically, as soon as I started riding it, grease was just squeezing out the side, and the tyre kept rubbing against the side of the frame as well, because it was just like lopsided from the side that didn't have the ball bearing in. Okay, I realise now it was pretty stupid, but I thought I'd get by. I didn't actually cause any damage to it, but yeah, it was stupid. I also didn't film the bit where I put the grip tape on, and that's because I forgot to. I couldn't find any genuine Shimano link wires. I don't think they sell them anymore, but from a distance you wouldn't be able to tell. This is a knockoff one. I'm pretty sure if I didn't say anything you wouldn't have noticed. So yeah, it looks like a Shimano one even from here. The final bit, just to finish it off, was to replace the saddle, because that saddle looked horrible. This one's a nice brown one from Charge. I'm aero. You could do that on a road bike, but this has got thick tyres. Very versatile. Have you ever seen a more versatile bike, Harvey?
Once or twice, but not anywhere around these parts.
Oh, okay.
That must be the fastest bike in the west, south.
See the stopping?
Okay, yeah, we're good.
You see everything alright?
Yeah.
So this is the finished bike. I think it looks flipping awesome. I love the look of it, and like you can ride it on this quite comfortably. I don't know if I'd want to go along the really stony bits, but just the gravel stuff, it's really good on it because of the chunky tyres. If I was to change anything, obviously it hasn't got the mudguards, which is one of the main things I set out to do, but the mudguards aren't big enough for these fat tyres, and these are like the fattest tyres that I could fit in this bike. It's really close, so You wouldn't really want to take it around any sort of mud because it's going to get jammed up. But I want to get some mud guards that are going to fit, or maybe I have to modify the ones I've already got. The only other thing I'd change would be possibly the chain ring, just something a little bit bigger because that's a mountain bike chain ring. But other than that, I think it looks wicked. I'm really chuffed with it, and I really want to do another build like this. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, then subscribe and like the video. And then I'm going to walk away. And if you just hold it there.
How's that?
Cool, because then it's going to have the screen of like and subscribe. I think that's enough. Nice. You reckon that's enough now?